Mic check. Des Rocksteady, have we got
Mr. Vegas.
Whoa, we do. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Edge of Sanity. Who the heck are Edge of Sanity? Alright. Nothing But Death Remains is the record we're going to listen to. This will be a nice, easy listen by the looks of things. We're not really bumping it past 4 minutes aside from 2 tracks, and we've got 8 tunes on this record, which sounds perfect to me. This might be like the perfect length record for someone such as myself, especially at the time I am operating in right now, sipping on a cup of coffee as we do. This one goes out to Matteo, who recommended this on the Patreon. Edge of Sanity, apparently this is their debut, their first record, their first LP perhaps. I thought it was another band from New York, like a New York crossover hardcore band called Something of Sanity, and their album artwork was like a green gloop, and that was another band like I'm not familiar with, to be honest. So we don't have comments. It says 1991 Century Media, under exclusive license from Edge of Sanity. Dan Swano, composer, lyricist, mastering engineer. Wow, so the composer and lyricist credit has got a mastering credit as well. Composer and lyricist Andreas Axelsson, Borge Forsberg, mixing engineer and producer, Benny Larson, composer lyricist, Anders Lindberg, composer lyricist, and mixing engineer, recording engineer, Rex Gislin. So with these, you know, sorry if I'm a little bit brain dead right now, people. I hate to be that guy and talk about it too much. Biblically speaking, they say, you know, don't be the guy with sorrow on his face and whatnot, what you're going through. I feel pretty good. But I'm experimenting with fasting, and as we speak, I'm 26 hours into a fast, just drinking coffee and water. Could eat right now, to be honest. I might go to the shops afterwards and get myself something to eat. But I think I'll sit through this record first. I was just about to say, judging by the names and the accents upon the name, this doesn't seem like an American band. Sounds like somewhere from flipping Sweden or something like that. My ignorance is showing, but we're going to jump in. Edge of Sanity, track 1, Tales. Lego. Don't know what to expect at all. 1991's a good year though. We listened to a record from 1991 within the last day. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar, Sex Magic, which was a quality record, to be fair. Mic check. Death metal. That kick drum's punchy, isn't it? This is that early Cannibal Corpse infused death metal, isn't it? 1991. The song lengths, the growl of the vocal. I don't know what to think of that kick though. That kick is very punchy, but it's like getting punched in the face each time it hits. Single kick drum. It's the first time like I've ever commented on this channel about whether it be one or two kicks, but it's so prominent, it's like garnered my attention to the degree where I've just been stuck in focus on it, you know? Anybody listen to the band Baphomet before? A lot of cool metal music in the related videos. Let's go. That was like the equivalent. That was the 91 equivalent to a bass drop. You hear that? Whoa! It's like a nuke dropping. There's a slight tinge of doom when it comes to them single line picked moments, but generally we still are within the realms of death metal, you know. We're not erring too far into that doomy sense because we're sort of not, you know, touching the bluesy element and just generally the soundscape and the performance of them riffs don't err that much into that realm, as opposed to it quite simply being a lower tempo single note picked riff, you know. Argue with me if I'm wrong. I don't care. Let's go now. I can actually play this beat on the drums, believe it or not. I could play two beats. I can play that, and I can play a D beat, believe it or not. It's been a minute since I played, since I had the opportunity to get onto a drum kit, but I can do them too. I can do a tom beat as well. Like some hardcore drum beat, I know that. Or arguably could call it a narco punk, you know. That particular beat stems a little bit deeper, you know what I mean? The UK 77 stuff. Some coherent lyrical content within that growl, you know, you can hear what he's saying for the most part. Hard. that was the longest on the record to kick it off with. You know what I mean? That was a long track in relation to the rest of the tunes. I wonder if we're going to up the tempo from here, get a little bit more fast stuff, or still remain in this essentially mid-tempo, lower mid-tempo sound. Let's see what comes up next. We've got Human Aberration. Des ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, signing in. Nothing But Death Remains is the title of this record by the band Edge of Sanity. This is my first time listening to Edge of Sanity. I don't know if I've heard of this band before. I must have seen it referenced briefly, but there's a couple of Edge of and there's a couple of Sanity bands, isn't there? I'm still trying to think of the band I was thinking this was initially. It was New York, well, related to New York Hardcore. It was on the New York Hardcore documentary. And they might still be performing, I think. Fuck knows. Anyway, Human Aberration, let's go. Track 2. Come on now. This is what I like. I like that punk rock, ska, skanking beat they throw into the mix. This style is what I like. From what I'm aware, I'm not very educated on death metal, but I prefer the Swedish sound as opposed to like the Florida-based sound. I like the punk rock infused, bordering on DB-esque elements that can be infused very well with death metal. Like the whole Entombed thing, I really enjoy. Come on now. Some transition that. Very nice. Some Halloween riffage, mate. Come on now. the chugs and the accents and the chokes and the palm mutes are really prominent and powerful on this production. They sound really good when they do them unison chugs and chokes, you know, really highlight and punctuate the riff. Really cool, really cool. I preferred that one to the first song. We've got Maze of Existence coming up next, yeah? Yes, now bless now people, don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. Edge of Sanity is the act we are listening to today. Nothing But Death Remains is the record. This entire listen through goes out to my friend Matteo, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's jump in, shall we? The energy drink, the Rockstar energy drink that's currently getting promoted to me. Rockstar Energy is actually relatively cheap compared to competitors like Red Bull and Monster and I don't know. I guess it might be on par with Relentless. But from what I'm aware, Rockstar Energy doesn't have any sugar-free variants, does it? Or at least it doesn't push the sugar-free thing. You can't do that. You can't have a non-sugar-free selection. Who in this world drinks fizzy pop with sugar? And if you do, you shouldn't. And if you do, you shouldn't drink fizzy pop anyway, to be honest, let's be real. It's a crock of shit. Just drink hard booze like me, alright? Just drink cheap vodka, pure. No need for what else. Come on now. Bruh, who invited the synth? Who invited the keyboard? I'm listening to Typo Negative. Stuttering and buttering, come on now. Boom, boom. We've flipped it, because on the prior side of this track it was, and now it's the counter opposite, it's the slow. Quite inventive. Ignorant. Some good timing on this record. It throws me off a bit. I like to know what's going on, but they don't do it in a way which is inappropriate. The timing is very well composed. Shit. Have I just... Oh shit, I muted it. Quality. Good sound to this record. Good sound to this. Let's keep on going. We've got The Dead coming up next. Yes, now, bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, track 4 of 8 on Nothing But Death Remains by Edge of Sanity is entitled The Dead. Let's flip and go, yeah? From the top. I wonder what they used to make that boom noise. It was a bit off time, to be honest. Come on now. Bum bum. Bum bum. It's a fascinating blend between death metal and the doom death that I am very unfamiliar with. You know, the harmonized single note picking is a staple of this record sound that is very, you know, separated from my knowledge of metal. Like, I've never really gone into this particular sound or influence when it's come to you know, this element of death metal. I've seen a couple of doom death bands like live and stuff. It's never really been my cup of tea, but this is yeah, it's a great sound. I wouldn't even, I mean, I want to call it doom death, but it's just like, it doesn't stem so far and it's not so consistent that it could be anything other than death metal, you know? It's 91, it's early days, right? We've got Decepted by The Cross coming up next. Yes, there's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV! Nice easy listen, this record. Edge of Sanity is whom we are listening to. The project is entitled Nothing But Death Remains. This goes out to my good friend Matteo, who recommended this on the Patreon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for introducing a little bit of metal into the mix. It's been a moment. Decepted by the Cross is this one. Obviously, you know, a translation, because I think decepted isn't necessarily a word, is it? It's deceived, right? You tell me. I didn't pay attention in English. I didn't give a hoot. A passionate, sensual fading. I personally believe that the horrors of the mainstream music industry hasn't necessarily infiltrated and influenced metal to the same degree as they have done other genres, because metal already does the devil's work. The metal already promotes the contrary to, you know, that which the industry is scared of, because the industry is satanic. Let's go. Look at this. In related videos, we've got when teen bullies get humbled by cops. The bullies bullying the bullies, bullying the bullies, bullying the bullies, yeah? Imagine being like so bitter and so confused that you root for a grown adult man who chose a career in the force, humbling a teenage boy. Come on. If you're into metal music and alternate music, right? Which you should be if you're hearing this message on an Edge of Sanity video. Were you not rebellious? Did you not make mistakes? Did you want a grown man to humble you and other grown adults to watch it and feel some sort of schadenfreude, some joy in your pain and misery? Disgusts me! Come on now. Whilst I'm ranting and raving, do you know what flipping annoys me, right? And oh my days. Oh my days. Do you know when people are just like, oh, this is happening and that's happening in the world. Oh, Donald Trump needs to sort this out. Government official needs to sort this out. Why isn't government official Have you got no identity? Have you got no control over your own life and your own actions and what you can actually do yourself? Do you actually believe so little in yourself that you have to rely on someone who doesn't even acknowledge your existence to do and change the world the way you want it? Why do you have to rely on other people? And I say that just in reference to, you know, the couple of snide comments I made there as far as like having other people manage society in a particular way. Gives a fuck about being managed and governed, man. It genuinely makes me sick to my stomach that a grown man would want to... A grown man would find comfort in another grown man who is of no relevance to him to care and cater for his life. Like, fuck off, man. It really makes me ill. It's weakness. Pure weakness, man. But it's forced upon us. That's why people believe in it, because it's forced upon us. This is the system we live in. Don't worry. They will look after you. We will look after you. Bro! I don't want you to look after me. I didn't agree to this. You're out here censoring my access to the internet for the proposed idea that you're gonna care and look after the children. When did I say you have a fucking say in my child? And now this is where the twist happens, right? Because the say in the child, the ownership of the child, derives from the birth certificate and the establishment of a corporation and the application of a birth certificate and so on and so forth. But that's a deeper level of game, what I'm not going to talk about because I don't know anything about it. But didn't we talk only a moment ago about the industry being satanic and devilish, being contrary to godlike, being contrary to light, if anything, being true darkness? And I've spoken to my friends about this. Let's change the conversation back to metal. I've spoken to my friends about this, right? If half of these metal bands, if half of these metal fans, if half of these alternate communities actually acknowledged, understood, and became aware of the actual evil that is done in the world under the banner of negative forces, to say the least, they would stop actively promoting the symbolism and linguistics of that which is a making of an evil force. Honestly, when you invite that into your life, you don't know what you're doing. And there's some people out there that take it very serious. I'm from England, right? These little quaint, scenic villages that we have going on. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that goes on there. Right? I'm not going to talk too much. But there is a real evil in the world. And when these like, oh, I love black metal so much. Yeah, Satan, man, and all this and that. It's like, you don't even know about Satan. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, and yeah, what more needs to be said? I'm ranting and raving. I'm ranting and raving. I like metal music, but I don't like the naivety that comes with, you know, nonchalantly just sort of thinking that it's cool to be edgy and unintentionally invite, you know, certain energy into your life, you know? And this is coming from the edgiest teenager of all time. Trust me, I was the edgiest kid back in the day. Back in the day, I was the edgiest kid, but... Look up SRA, Satanic Ritual Abuse. Some of the stuff you'll hear is so insane. You'll be blown back in disbelief. But these brainwashing tactics are being projected upon you through indirect and oblique means by the powers that be. Allegedly. Allegedly. Anyway, whilst we're here, cause we're listening to a metal band and you don't want to hear me, you know, as a participant of the God Squad, right? I'll give you the flip side as well. I'll give you a little bit of esoteric knowledge as far as the cross is concerned. I will have referenced this prior, but I put out so many videos that, you know, I'm doubtful you will have seen it. The concept of the cross is a symbol. It's a phallic symbol, perhaps, representative of the penis, right? Christianity and Abrahamic religion as a whole is very masculine driven, right? Monotheistic religion tends to generally relate God through masculine principle and masculine verbiage and so on and so forth, right? The cross may have come from the Ankh, which is, you know, the Egyptian symbol of life. I'm sure you've all seen that. It's a cross, but as opposed to it being straight up, what you have is a circular, you know, curvature upon the cross. That's representative of both the penis and the vulva, the yonic and the phallus, the yoni and the phallus, right? Then Christianity came, took the circle out. There we go. We've now got a penis. Now, what do you do when you fold the cross up? You get a cube, right? What do the Muslims walk around? They walk around the cube. What do they represent when they walk around the cube? They represent a circle. Saturn. When you look up to Saturn, what do you have on the pole of Saturn? You have a storm that creates a perfect hexagon, right? What do you get when you create a 3D model out of that hexagon? You get a cube, right? It's a deep game. It's a deep game. What does the cube represent? What does the black cube represent? The Black Rock. Who owns all of the companies is posing as an investor. So I'm talking too much game here, so I'm going to stop there. But what is Saturn? Saturn is the black sun. What's the black sun? What is Saturn? It's Satan. Santa. Kronos. The Grim Reaper. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's schizo hours. I've been fasting for 28 hours. I'm going schizo tonight, people. Come on now. Repent for your sins, people. Ba-da-da. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving. We've got Angel of Distress coming up next. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. Nothing But Death Remains is the record. Edge of Sanity is the act. Track 6 of 8 is where we're at. Angel of Distress. We're talking game tonight, people. Trust me, I'm putting you on to some pimping tonight, people. Let me continue on with this pimping. I was ranting and raving on that last one about, you know, having faith at the very least that your government and the authoritarian figures that manage you and your society's existence is going to do anything to make your life better, right? Trust me, if you got women in your life who you want to find you attractive or have found you attractive, so you're in a relationship with them or so on and so forth, she don't want to see you have to rely on a higher force to sort your flipping life out. She gonna think, who's this man? He's got no control over his life. If he's got no control over his life, how's he gonna have control over a household? How's he gonna have control over a future, right? I need this man to provide resource. And he's too busy relying on Popper, who works in the government, who doesn't have his, you know, interest at heart whatsoever. He's a self-fulfilling politician that does not give two flying hoots about the life or death of this man I'm in a relationship with. And he's having to try to abide by the politics of the day and the time, and he's confused by the left-wing, right-wing paradigm, and so on and so forth, believing that it's going to make some degree of change to his reality. And it will do, just it'll only shit your reality up even more as you continue to submit. Come on, pull yourself together, people. Pull yourself together, people. I don't know much about Satanism, and we've been talking about, you know, religious concepts since the last video. We've been applying it to, you know, the esoteric approach to societal and hierarchical construct. And because it's a death metal band, you know, and generally anti-religious or anti-Christian, because they daren't point the finger at other religions, right? They would rather bully the low-hanging fruit. It's brought us onto this topic of discussion. I don't know much about Satanism, but at the very least of that, I know that LaVeyan Satanism, right, at the very least, speaks on independence and relieving oneself of that higher force and becoming that which is, you know, as opposed to the submittance of what you perceive as an authoritarian figure. I don't know anything about all of that stuff. I don't worship it. I don't touch that stuff. But if that is the truth, you know, hopefully you take something of that, because it's a fair principle. But if you don't believe in something higher than yourself, it's like, well, what do you believe in? This material world? This material world shit? Like, how far are you going to go? Bruh, there's a band called Happy Days, Abigail. The Suicidal Darkness. Have a look at my related videos. Happy Days, Abigail. 733,000 views by an act called, or a YouTube channel called The Suicidal Darkness. That has the aesthetic of a suicidal black metal band, but the idea of it having 733,000 views is crazy. I'm going to pause this video and check that out. I'll be with you in 1 second. I'm back. It was an instrumental, like 3 minutes of it was a movie sample, and then it just went into minor chords. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. Do you know who does that sound better? That is the equivalent. Depressive black metal is the equivalent to emotional hardcore. There was a band local called More Than Life who used to perform, and they did that sound very well. And that sound was way better than any sort of like depressive black metal band. I can't take that shit serious. Mateo, my man, please don't recommend any depressive black metal, thank you. Just pure NSBM, please. It's a joke. Come on now. Whilst we're on the topic of black metal, when it comes to that National Socialist black metal stuff, bruh, that stuff is punk rock as hell, because you can't find that stuff streaming on anywhere. You can't find it anywhere, and it's like barely any distributors are gonna stock that stuff, let alone fund that stuff. So it shows my naivety and my innocence when it comes to it, that I have no idea, like, how that stuff happens. Because, you know, if you put on a bill of clearly offensive acts at your local event, most of the acts that are putting on metal bands and stuff, a lot of people are going to just be like, you can't put them on. Oh, we're going to boycott that and blah, 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 blah. So it would never happen. So it's punk rock as far as like the underground community is concerned. That shit is crazy. And I bet you can't even make sense of what they're saying in them tunes. Do you know what I mean? After all of that. After all of that. I hear they even got Christian black metal nowadays. White metal. Which is kinda hard. You can't have darkness without the light, my friend. Come on now. This is borderline beatdown hardcore right now. What's quite fascinating is, in biblical terms, Lucifer, the fallen angel, supposedly was made of instruments. Lucifer was a musician, believe it or not. Or represented music. Ooh. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know better. Quite the abrupt ending. I don't know if it flows straight into impulsive necroplasma. There's only one way to find out. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, signing in. Just chatting pure misinformation over this listen through. Nothing I say is truthful at all. I'm just bullshitting to you. Having a chat, having a good laugh, entertaining myself, listening to some metal. Nothing But Death Remains is the record. Edge of Sanity is the band. Track 7 of 8 is entitled Impulsive Necro. Flipping plasma. Let's go. Come on. It wants to blow. Oh! Anybody listen to Dissection before? I've never checked them out. Nagaroth in the related. The track is called The Day Burzum Killed Mayhem, which is like the crappiest song title of all time. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Come on now. That was the best track on the album, unless Immortal Soul steals it. That was the best track on the album. Great build-up at the start, great groove, great song length at only 3 minutes 1 second, shortest on the record. Great flow from Angel of Distress. That was the best one on the record. Let's finish this record off with Immortal Souls. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV signing in. I'm going to give you a little book recommendation here. For those who want to know about the biological imperative of the woman in relation to the man. Quite a controversial read. One would argue quite red-pilled. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. I do enjoy this. I've read this a couple of times. I think a good foundational building block for seeing things and breaking out of the socially engineered imperative they try and make you believe that you're masculinity is toxic and that she is as masculine as you and should go to work and it doesn't matter and nothing matters and everyone's gonna love each other at the end. I recommend it. It's a good read. But with that being said, Immortal Souls is the last tune on this record. This entire listen through goes out to my friend Mateo, who recommended this. Thank you for your recommendation and thank you for creating some fun times, to say the least. It's been nice to check out some metal for, first time in a long while. Let's jump in. We're returning back to The Pit on King of the Pit TV. King of the Posers TV. Let's go. Come on now. Who's moshing? Who's crowd killing? Who's hate moshing? There's not been one guitar solo on this record. I like that. I like that. Hard. Last riff coming up. And that was it. Not a bad tune. Not a bad tune at all. I'm going to give you my final review in a moment. We'll rate this record out of 10. I'll tell you everything I thought about it from start to finish. See you there. Yes, now, bless now. Do not forget the breasts now. It's Des ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. Edge of Sanity is whom we have listened to for the very first time. I've never listened to this band before. And the record we listened to was Nothing But Death Remains, put out in 1991. I believe it's their first record. 8 tracks. Perfect amount of material So that's my first compliment. We're looking at what? Call it 3, just call it 4, 8, 12. Call it half an hour's worth of music over 8 tracks. Half an hour's worth of consistent doom riff laden death metal music. Production wise, it was okay. It's the equivalent. It was a fair investment. Say it was 91, because like your general alternate band here, whether it be hardcore, whether it be death metal, whether it be thrash metal, if they're sort of like finding their feet and putting out a debut or whatnot, it's probably going to be of the same quality sound of this record in 2025. So it's a good sounding record. Is it great? No. Do you want it to be great? Of course not. It's death metal music. So it's good. It's clear. Everything's audacious. You know, everything fulfills its role. Everything fulfills the right register. It's good. Bassist isn't prominent, really. Never stands out, aside from 2 moments where it stands alone momentarily, but not for very long. Guitar-driven band, seems to be one guitarist in the band from what I picked up on. No guitar solos in the record, which is a thumbs up from me. Make it 2 thumbs up from me. That's pristine. Also sort of highlights the fact there's probably only one guitar. Although I do take that back, because in the slower sections, which half of the record is slower sections, half of the record is, you know, fast sections. Not fast to the degree where you're playing blasts, but like skanking fast beats, thrash metal fast beats. Not crossover thrash, but you know, like your generalized thrash beats. They do harmonize them riffs. It could be played independent of the harmonization in a live situation with like 4 band members, if not 3 band members. You know, it wouldn't sort of detract too much from the sound, but they are always throwing a harmony on them slower riffs. That is a reoccurring thing. Vocals, good. Not so gruff and nonsensical that it just becomes boring mush and you're just hearing a monotone just like for 30 minutes straight. There is coherence in the vocal, yet it's not like old school to degree where it's just like horrible prototype death metal vocals, which I just think is quite boring, honestly. But you know, we're erring into the 90s and we hear the death metal in the vocal, we hear the growl in the vocal, and that's really good. Yeah, good amount of material. Anything longer would be overkill, you know. I think it's Cannibal Corpse tend to do like the 10 track, 11 track or 9 track, maybe 10 bonus track sort of records, which is sort of pushing it a little bit. 8 tracks is optimal. It's perfect. Gets everything you need to do done. I mean, how far are they going to go from here? They're not going to rewrite. They're not going to, redefine the wheel per se. From here on, you've heard what you need to hear. It's not going to span so much different if they threw another track on it. It'd be the same style of music generally. So they get in and out in the appropriate amount of time. There's room for progression. So the rating I'm going to give it stands with that opinion. It's not disrespectful that I'm going to rate it 6.5 out of 10. But it's just purely as there's plenty of room for progression as this band continues through the history, putting out more records, that which I haven't heard yet, you know. I hope I wouldn't consider that this act would put another record out after this that sounds more or less the same. There's plenty of room for improvement. You know, a little bit more technicality perhaps, a little bit more experimentation in a positive manner on the drum kit, you know. Vocals, I don't know, I suppose vocals just sort of within the whole production just sort of being produced better. given that we can do that, we can definitely bump it up to a 7. But this was a cool listen, and this was recommended on Patreon by my friend Matteo, so thank you very much for that. Cool stuff. I'm signing out on that note. Goodbye.